Kevin. You woke me up and gave me some news this morning. And that news being pretty eventful. Cody Rhodes has left AEW. Yeah, talk to us, Kevin. I'm pretty stunned, to be honest.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like I'm past the point where you are now because I've seen this news for give or take like 5 hours or so. It was like I want to say 9 a.m. Eastern time is when this started circulating across the news waves on Twitter. So I'm kind of past that point now. Reality set in that Cody Rhodes is no longer in AEW. To say that this is shocking is an understatement. I mean, Cody Rhodes, in large part, he is AEW. Without him, there probably would have been no AEW. Cody Rhodes brought a sense of stardom and credibility to the indie scene that we really hadn't seen in a long, long time. And he made AEW possible just on his name value alone, combined with Kenny Omega getting hot and the Young Bucks getting hot and all that. We all know the story of how AEW started, so we don't have to talk about that. But, wow, to see Cody now, he's gone from AEW. And I don't know if his budget cuts, Tony Khan couldn't afford to pay him, or if Cody just really wanted to leave WWE to try to be famous. I don't know. Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a big day for wrestling, pal. Big news day.
I feel like there's so much to this, and I feel like the whole of 2021, we were talking about stuff like this. Obviously with Cody Rhodes, I remember infamously back around the time of the Agogo promo and the Agogo feud, where Cody ended racism, we made the analogy about how Cody, like comparing AEW to a circus, no pun intended, you've got a bunch of gymnasts and acrobats doing just spots and dangerous spots for the sake of it for like a cheap, like, oh my God, out of the fans. Cody's out the front doing Shakespearean monologues and it doesn't fit. It feels out of place in AEW. So that's what we said a year ago. And then obviously throughout that whole year of 2021, we were saying, who's going to be that guy to leave AEW? What's going to be the big news story? Because no way it's all, like rainbows and daisies and flowers for AEW through 2022 as well. There's going to be drama. There's going to be stuff happening. And Kevin, this seems to take the cake. There was the big swole thing on New Year's Day. There was Kenny Omega outing himself a week later. And now there's this, Kevin. This is the biggest of all. This is insane. Assuming this is all fully legit, and it seems like it is. We've had statements from Tony Khan, Cody, Brandy, Meltzer, every journalist on the platform. You've had all the big name Twitter accounts and creators tweeting about this and getting content in. Unreal, Kevin. Unreal.
Oh, yeah. Well, the next big story to come is the fact that Kenny and Cody were beefing and hate each other. We know that's coming.
Yep.
Because I know Meltzer mentioned something on repercussions to the story, and it's like, yeah, it's going to come out at some point that Cody and Kenny could not be in the same room. Creatively, they didn't see eye to eye. You can see it just if you watch the AEW product on television. You can see that Cody Rhodes, his content was on an island. It was isolated from everybody else.
Yeah.
Like just, you have, like you said, flipping and flopping, and then next thing you know, it's like, oh, Cody Rhodes is out here cutting 25-minute promos on Sean Spears. So
yeah,
you can see it a mile away. I don't know exactly if it's going to be Kenny and Cody, but there's going to be some sort of insight on this, some sort of fallout, whether whoever it is, Cody couldn't get along with Tony Khan, Chris Jericho. It's coming at some point.
But Kevin, I thought AEW was the perfect place to work and WWE was a slavery fed.
Oh, Jesus.
Kevin.
Yeah, the company that does no wrong. The company that does no wrong is now, shit's starting to hit the fan, for lack of a better term.
Kevin, I mean, in 6 weeks alone, some of the stuff I've seen come out about AEW, obviously there was the Big Swole thing where a AEW employee, like a day one employee, Big Swole, was outing AEW as having a diversity problem with like who they push, and Big Swole saying that her kid doesn't want to watch AEW because she doesn't see anyone who looks like them succeeding. You had that. Kenny Omega on Twitter. I can't believe he did what he did on Twitter. That was wild. And now this. As I said, Kevin, this is the biggest one of all, and it makes you think.
You're forgetting the Chris Jericho stuff too.
Which stuff is this? Which stuff this time?
All the Chris Jericho stuff. I mean the allegations brought forth by indie wrestlers.
Oh, this, yes. Yeah, and then Tony Khan's alleged love for cocaine and that. I mean, a lot of stuff. And Kevin, who knows if this is just the beginning? Who knows if give it 6 weeks, and maybe the same thing happens with Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho's contract has expired. Chris Jericho's announcing he's leaving AEW. I can see that happening. Jericho's been there 3.5 years now. He's seen it go from the company being Jericho, Cody, the Young Bucks, and Tony Khan as like the founding fathers. So now it's a bunch of guys having matches, CM Punk bitching about WWE every week on TV, a bunch of just midgets. It's like, I don't know, Kevin. I don't know. Like,
it's devolving. Tony Khan is writing checks that he can't cash at the end of the day. He's signing all of these wrestlers. Keith Lee, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish.
Game changers. Game changers, all of them, Kevin.
Yeah, the list goes on and on. Giving CM Punk allegedly like $4 million.
Wow.
You know, he's Daniel Bryan. Who knows how much Daniel Bryan got paid? All these guys are coming in. Realistically, how is he going to be able to pay for all these guys? You got 2 hours of TV time a week, 1 hour if you count 3 hours if you count Rampage. Sorry, and you're gonna, eventually, budget cuts got to be made. And I guess Vince McMahon made an offer that Cody couldn't refuse and Tony Khan couldn't match. That's really the only thing I see happening here. I don't see any other route why this took place. Like I just Vince outbid Tony. That's all I think it is.
But that makes you think. That makes you think. Like, if it's just an offer thing, I mean, Cody's one of the EVPs and founding fathers of the promotion. Like, I'd say, well, hypothetically, I don't know. Let's say Vincent Kennedy McMahon offers him like $2.5 million. I don't know, hypothetically, right? Tony offers him $2 million. Well, like the fact that it's several $1 million and Cody's the EVP of one of the companies. Based on that, you'd think Cody would stay at AEW. So clearly there must be something deeper to this. As Dave Meltzer reported, repercussions. You allude to maybe Cody and Kenny having beef. I mean, you can see that, as you say, based on how the shows are booked. Like, it's totally different. Kenny Omega, a 25-minute match for the sake of it. Joshi wrestling for the sake of it. Cody's completely different. Like, can't wait to be seen. Plenty more come out about this.
Oh, yeah. This story is developing. Let's just talk briefly here for a minute or two, like what we can expect from Cody if he does go to WWE, because it's not confirmed. It's implied, it's alluded to, but it's not confirmed that he's going to WWE. So if he does show up at WWE, I don't know. Like, is he going to come in as a top guy?
No.
Right off the bat?
No.
I mean, the rumors were out there that Vince was offering Kenny Omega like $6 million, like Brock money, to come in 2019 for the Royal Rumble. So Cody Rhodes is probably in that same ballpark. So is Vince McMahon really going to pay Cody Rhodes like $5 million to sit on the bench? I mean, yeah, you can see it. I mean, he pays wrestlers all the time and just puts them on the bench. But I don't know. There's some potential here that this run for Cody could be better and should be better than his first run in WWE. He's a changed performer. He's gotten better in a lot of respects. Who knows? We could see the best version of Cody Rhodes going forward.
Or we could see him have a run like Kevin Nash did in like 2002, 2003. Like, he gets brought in. He just spent 5 years being like the face of anti-WWE, and then he's like a mid-carder for a bit. He has like a world title feud or two, and that's just kind of it. I feel like it's going to be fascinating to see if he does go WWE, what he does. Personally, I feel like this is me speculating. This isn't anything that's been confirmed or anything like that. But I think he'll probably, if he's like, if he has 100% left AEW, he'll have a few months just filming Roads to the Top, or just, generally just taking an hiatus from wrestling with his like newborn child or whatever. And then from there, it's just literally going to be, probably goes to WWE and it's probably a mid-carder for a bit. That's about it, really.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, because at the end of the day, he is Cody Rhodes. He's not Roman Reigns. He's not John Cena. Like, he's still Cody Rhodes. Like, he kind of got a bit overrated during his time in AEW. He's not, like, I don't know. Like, is it going to be, how is a casual fan going to take Cody Rhodes when, like, you're tuned into SmackDown in, like, July of 2022, and Cody Rhodes makes his grand entrance. He's got his new theme song playing. the one from AEW. He's got that playing on the WWE screen.
Yeah.
Him and Brandy are marching down to confront the tribal chief Roman Reigns. Like, how is the casual fan going to accept that? Well, I guess that remains to be seen.
Well, I hope what they do is have Cody Rhodes. They do the same thing with Cody in WWE as they've been doing for the last 3 years with these AEW wrestlers. You have Cody Rhodes come to the ring with a live microphone and give his brutally honest thoughts about the behind the scenes and dish the dirt in a live promo on WWE SmackDown about AEW. Because that's all we've seen with AEW guys dissing WWE. If Cody Rhodes is left because of beef up at the top of AEW, he clearly has issues across the board with AEW in multiple regards. I mean, would that not be fair enough? Cody does the pipe bomb on AEW, explaining how the wrestlers, the egos backstage are extreme. These guys haven't done anything in their careers and they're acting like they're like top dogs. You've got CM Punk making $3.5 million a year to bitch about WWE and not draw a dime. All this stuff, like it's going to be chaos, pal. Like,
how feasible is that? How feasible is that route where Cody comes in and cuts the pipe bomb? Because like when you think about it, we've only seen AEW referenced on WWE TV like a couple times.
Yep.
Like Sami Zayn referenced it once on a random Raw. It doesn't happen that often. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we're going to see that. I think Cody's going to come out and he's going to get a title shot or something right off the bat, and he's not really going to mention AEW.
True. I think he'll mention AEW, but he'll mention them as like that Fed or like the other team or something. He'll be like, I'm like LeBron James. I was a Cleveland guy my whole life. I went to the beaches of Florida for a bit. Now I'm back home. Something like that. It's like, okay, thanks for that, Cody.
Yeah, he'll say something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, I'm basically LeBron James, and then you got NBA Twitter being like, who is this bum? Like, I don't know.
I don't see him out there on prime time on the same channel that hosts like the World Series at a prime time on Friday night. I don't see him like talking about Cody Rhodes. Talking about Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks for like 10 minutes. I just don't think anybody would care.
Wait, so
the SmackDown audience just won't care at all about that.
Wait, so you're calling AEW and how their top stars behave and cut promos on TV unprofessional? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's about, for now, all there is to it. Plenty more is probably going to come out about this. So we look forward to that. But yeah, Kevin, the feeling of waking up and seeing the timeline literally in World War III over this was just something I'll never forget. So yeah, Kevin, that's been our little late heat reaction. I guess thanks for coming on, and yeah, easy. Let's go.
Sir.